time for our live Q&A. So get your questions in the comment section. Use hashtag Cowboys. Anything you guys want there. We'll go through quite a few of them, as I know you guys are going over the Aikman. Ghoul Hernandez says, me as the head coach, y'all don't want that. I'd be terrible. You guys don't want me as the head coach. I'm flattered. Thank you. It means a lot. Y'all don't want me on as the Cowboys head coach. Now, so for some real questions, Illusion Live, should we go after Eric Berry? I am intrigued, and as I mentioned on Twitter, A, the Browns are a big threat. B, the medical has to check out. A lot of you guys, understandably so and correctly so, don't like it when Sean Lee is hurt. Yeah, he's played more games past 2 years than Eric Berry has. So that's a big question. That's a big fear for me. So I am intrigued by Eric Berry. Money's got to be right, and the health has got to check out. Body Beast, are you worried about Tank leaving? I mean, I'd be lying if I was like, if I said I had zero concerns. He is under contract or via the franchise tag, so you can't just up and sign unless the Cowboys get 2 first-round picks back, which, okay, I guess I could live with that one. But I am worried the Cowboys are botching this. Just pay him. Just pay him $20+ million a year. I think that'll end up happening, and in the end, it'll all be fine. All right, from Tom, should the Cowboys, good name by the way, should the Cowboys go after Tre Boston? Should they? Yes. I would love to bring Tre Boston to the Dallas Cowboys. Will they? Probably not. Here's why I say probably not. He was available last year, and I'm sure many of you, and if I recall correctly, y'all did, and I as well, wanted to sign Tre Boston. The Cowboys had no interest. They could have picked him up for scraps, much like Kenny Vaccaro. They didn't do it. I don't think that will have changed, even though I certainly would if I was the Cowboys. Matt S., other than safety, what are some positions we should beef up in free agency? I'll throw out 2 more, because you're looking at safety, of course. I think in terms of free agency, you're fine at receiver right now, unless Golden Tate comes cheap or something like that. I'd look for another backup running back. Rod Smith's a free agent. Maybe a Ty Montgomery, Buck Allen. Both guys kind of fit the pass-catching role, maybe more so than Rod Smith does. I'd also look at defensive end. I don't know what his market's going to look like. I'd like Shaq Barrett. I think that'd be a really good fit there for the Dallas Cowboys. Troy Guerrera, who will have a better season this year, the Cowboys or the Browns? I'm supposed to say Cowboys, so I'm going to go with Cowboys. I know many of you on our main channel have floated a Cowboys versus Browns Super Bowl. Sign me up. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think I would enjoy that a lot. Mr. Payne 522. What does a Zeke contract look like in the future? Good question. The Cowboys have said that the deal starts with Todd Gurley. But, and I'm sure they'll use this as a negotiating tactic, you sit down with Zeke and you say, hey, you want to hold out? Look what happened to Bell. He didn't get Todd Gurley money. Why don't you just take a little bit less? Hey, we supported you during your whole suspension drama. We were there. We had your back. Why don't you help us out as well? That will be the negotiating tactic for the Cowboys. In the end, though, I do think it kind of starts and hangs around with the Todd Gurley deal. Super chat coming in. Thank you, Jordan Thomas. I appreciate that. Again, if you use a super chat, we'll make sure it gets on air. If not when we're live, we'll put it in a future video. So he says, Cowboys sign Morris Claiborne and trade Anthony Brown or Lewis for more draft picks. For starters, just before we get to Claiborne, I'm intrigued by the idea of trading away Anthony Brown or Jordan Lewis. I am, because you can't keep them both long term. Maybe you get a mid-round pick now, spend a higher pick on a corner, or if you sign Morris Claiborne, I know not everyone wants to bring back Claiborne, but he does fit the Chris Richard mold, and by the way, Richard's been better about making corners better. So I'm intrigued by that idea. If I had to guess, I don't think the Cowboys would do it, but I'm intrigued, and if it did happen, I'd be pretty happy about it. From Roy, how much do you think Dak will get paid? A, make sure you guys are subscribed. We did put up a Dak Prescott contract projection video. You can scroll through it to find it, but just to keep it short and sweet, he's going to get 28 to 30 million. Like, that's the going rate for a franchise quarterback who's young and talented. That's the reality there, unfortunately. From Serge Rome, From Cowboys Nation, what's up with Chris Richard? Well, he's back with the Cowboys. He's going to remain in his role as the de facto defensive coordinator. Maybe you see a announced pay cut or announced pay raise and title promotion there, but he's back with the Cowboys for now. Wyatt, will DeMarcus Ware unretire? Producer Harris is very confused right now. DeMarcus Ware did put up a video saying, I've been working out. Maybe I got to call Tony and come back with the Cowboys in Witten. I don't think you'll see DeMarcus Ware unretire. I'm intrigued by it. I think it'd be fun, but I'd be a little bit surprised there. Matt S., what are some ways to create more cap space? Several different ways here. A, restructures. You can reset the contracts or redo them a little bit for guys like Tyron Smith, Frederick, Zach Martin, and so on. In reality, you could actually probably extend Amari Cooper, and with the way you structure it, actually free up more cap space for the 2019 season. So just make note of that. You could also still cut guys like Allen Hurns, for example. That saves up quite a bit of money. They already cut Terrence Williams, so you could restructure Tyrone Crawford or cut that, which I don't advise cutting Tyrone Crawford, by the way. But for the most part, the Cowboys can free up money. And again, the salary cap doesn't really exist on a micro level. You can afford any single player if you want. But on a macro level, the bill comes home, and you can't afford everybody. Shout out Tucker Sturgs, who gave us a little super chat there. We appreciate it, my man. I know you had a comment there from a more recent one. Oh, here it is. Could the Cowboys sign Barrett and Soggy? I'm trying to figure out how you mean by Soggy. I know you mean Shaq Barrett. I like the idea of Shaq Barrett. That is like my number one target right now. I kind of lean towards the Cowboys aren't going to get him, but let a man dream. Let me dream a little bit here. All right, we'll get to that one later on, I guess, there. So, again, I like the idea of Shaq Barrett. Potato Master 123 says Tom Downey as the next Cowboys GM. I'm flattered. I appreciate it. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Anthony Meatball. Will the Cowboys draft Jeffrey Simmons in a way similar to what they did with the Jalen Smith injury? Oh, and Tucker, by the way, meant Ziggy Ansah. I don't think you'll see them add Ziggy, but I am intrigued by that one. And either way, it's going to be one, not both. But back to Anthony Meatball. If he's on the board, I think the Cowboys would consider it. The one big flaw, I guess the two big problems here are that A, he might not be there, so you can cross it off the list. B, the Cowboys were risking in round 2 because they still had a first-round pick. They don't have that this year. I don't know if they can actually go about it that way. Aaron Ray, if Zeke goes down, do you think Rod can be a solid number 2? He says no, sir. He's been fine. I think the Cowboys are looking for an upgrade in the draft or in free agency, but if he comes back on a cheap one-year deal, I'm always down. Artie Garcia, do you think the Cowboys will pick up another linebacker? Maybe in the draft. But I don't think you're going to see them sign anybody else. Maybe a cheap guy that no one's ever heard of, or most people haven't heard of, but they have depth. You have Joe Thomas. You have Sean Lee as your top backups. They drafted Christian Covington last year. He might be the next man up. Luis Hernandez asks, would I trade Taco Charlton and a 5th-round pick for Ryan Switzer and bring him back? No, I would not, because I can find a better slot receiver in this year's NFL draft. I really think I can. And by the way, I'm not giving up 2 assets for Ryan Switzer, who had 253 yards receiving. I like the Switzer pick. It's time to move on from him. Dennis Smith says Tom Downey as kicker. There are a lot of comments in there right now, and I really appreciate it. I think it's pretty funny. You guys are killing me right now. RB2 kicker. Last time I played running back, I got knocked out because I saw a hole and said, nah, I know there's a linebacker waiting, and tried to bounce it out wide, and then all of a sudden I was on my back. It did not go very well for me. Daniel says call the first 2 draft picks this year. Oh, okay. All right, let me give you guys a dream and a more likely outcome. Dream is going to be Deebo Samuel in round 2 and Rennell Wren in round 3, which I don't think it ends up happening. And then more likely, let's go Christian Miller, the edge from Alabama, and Stanley Morgan in round 3, the receiver from Nebraska. Maybe he's more of a round 4 guy, but I'll just throw out those 2 names. Total shot in the dark because, after all, it is like March. Hernandez says Tom Downey is Cowboys owner. You guys are killing me right now. As an edge rusher, Ooh, is the towel boy. Now we're a little bit more realistic. Okay. By the way, where do I sign for me as owner? I could really use that money. William Broad with an interesting idea here on a more serious note. Trade Tyrone Crawford. I say no. Because the one thing about Crawford, he's reliable. He's on the field. He does a lot of different things for you. I say you keep Crawford. His money is a little bit high, but I keep him because you need stability right now on the defensive line. That's where Crawford is. And oh, by the way, he's a fantastic leader as well. Serge Rome says, is Reggie Davis any good? He's fast. I don't think he's going to make the roster, though, in the end. So, throwing that one out there. ASAP Dallas, with how this roster is playing out, do you see the boys making another playoff run? Well, getting rid of Linehan is a plus. I think they're going to be a good team next year. If with the draft picks, if they stand pat, if they re-sign Tank Lawrence, they're going to be one of the favorites for the NFC East. I really think that's the way it is. Nathan Archibald says Tom Downey for Monday Night Football. Okay, I could do that too. That's fun. I'm on board with that idea there. But again, folks, keep using hashtag Cowboys in the comments section. All right, Stevie Mac, let's be realistic here, boys. Guys, Tom Downey, you misspelled my name. It's okay. It happens all the time. For Waterboy, that is some high-quality H2O. First off, I love that movie. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. Cowboy X Factor gets it. Suck it, Mitchell. Cowboys Report and Tom Downey greater than the Raiders Report and Mitchell Renz. I appreciate that. Andrew, by the way, I never got it right. Is it doe or do? Let me know in the comment section, Andrew, and hopefully I get it right going forward. How do we use Sean Lee now that he's back? Good question on a more serious note here. He is going to be a top backup linebacker. They don't want to play Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch every single snap. I like the idea of putting Jalen at Sam a little bit more, that strong side linebacker spot, but I don't know if the Cowboys really want to go that route. From Ron MCS, always wanted to shout out Downey. Canada loves you, eh? Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. There's your shout out. And by the way, Andrew says it's doe. All right, I will try to remember that. If I get it wrong, Andrew, I apologize. That's a mistake on my end if I end up doing that. But Andrew Doe there is the name. Ray Lofton, are the Cowboys still in the market for a DT? I think in the draft. I don't know if there's going to be anybody else in free agency. I think that Christian Covington was their move. But in the draft, absolutely. I think they'll take somebody maybe even early as well. Just Stab Oxlot, do you think we should get Andy Isabella in round 2? I'm on board. Sign me up. He's right alongside there with Deebo Samuel for me. Also says, by the way, Tom Downey for head coach. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, although I probably wouldn't make a very good head coach. Travis Underwood with his donation. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate that. Again, Super Chats will always give you guys a shout out. If you have a question, Travis, and I see it, I'll try to shout you out on air as well. But again, thank you, guys. Keep using hashtag Cowboys in the comments section. What round will we draft a running back, and if so, who? Good question. Not round 2, not round 3. Maybe with that comp pick in round 4, round 5 might make a little bit more sense. There will be plenty of different guys on there. I think Justice Hill could be a good target for the Cowboys. That's just one name that comes to mind. But running backs will fall. There will be somebody good on the board in round 4, in round 5. So kind of wait and see, I think, is my main mindset on that one, Luis. But there will be good guys that can complement pretty well, I think, Zeke Elliott. From Viper9354, since we re-signed Tavon, do you think he'll be a bigger part of the offense if he's healthy? I would kind of like that. I think that'd be intriguing to me. I'm going to keep my expectations low for Kavon Austin. He'll be a gadget player. He's not going to be a focal point of the offense because that's not what he's been anywhere. Jordan Thomas back again. Is Chat Sports my only job besides being awesome? Yes, it is. Do you think the Cowboys have interest in Ty Montgomery? I think they do. I think they do have interest in Ty Montgomery. He fits what I think they're looking for right now. More of a scat back who can help in the passing game. Ty Montgomery literally was a receiver at one point. That's the type of player I think the Cowboys should have interest in. And then what about Dez Bryant? I wouldn't get your hopes up. I think it's more likely he ends up re-signing with the New Orleans Saints. Dennis Smith, a super chat as well. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Your question, by the way, was do we go after Adrian Phillips at safety? I hope so. I think he'd be a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys. And stay tuned. Probably tomorrow, I think, is when we'll get it up. We'll have a free agency safety target for the Cowboys. Hopefully, once we film it, none of them sign in the immediate future afterward. Once again, folks, today's show brought to you guys by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. We're going to put this on loop, but I will be in the comments section answering more questions, so keep them coming there here on Facebook and on YouTube. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.